So, respected chief guest of the day, Sri P. Aravindashan, Chief General Manager, former Chief General Manager, ISRO, Director of the College, Reverend Father Paul Nedumburathu, Vice Principal Sri Somi P. Matthew, coordinators of this program, Dr. Anishin Raj, and Mr. K. Vinosh, deans, heads of the departments, faculty members, and my dear students. We are very fortunate to have an eminent personality like Sri Aravindashan with us today. And he is also going to talk about a very, very interesting and inspiring story about the success of Indian space program. Sri Aravindashan has significantly contributed to Indian space program, and he has more than 33 years of experience in the various fields of space programs and various aspects of space program. Basically, Aravindashan is an electrical engineer, but now he is no more an electrical engineer, he is an all-rounder. During the college days also, in fact, Sri Aravindashan is my classmate. We studied together 45 years back at NIT Calicut. So those days also, he was a multidisciplinary person, as a student with an interest in all aspects of engineering, science, technology, everything. So now Sri Aravindashan is a person who will be able to clearly explain to us the basics of Indian space program, inspiring story or success story, or what the progress of Mangalyaan, Chandrayaan, everything which we have read in the newspaper, but we don't have a clear-cut idea. Within 1 hour, I think Aravindashan will be able to tell us about the inspiring story and the experience he had in the Indian space program. So Aravindashan retired 2-3 years back, and even after retirement, he is a very busy person. But in face of his very busy schedule, Sri Aravindashan, when I requested him, very happily agreed. Actually, normally when he was in service, he will tell after 6 o'clock I am free. But last week when I talked to him, he told you call me after 9:30 because I will be free after 9:30 only. That shows how busy he is. He is consultant to many private companies, and also ISRO also some technical advices nowadays. So a very busy person and very knowledgeable, well experienced, and he will be able to guide us, or he will be able to tell us about the Indian space program very clearly and very precisely. And on behalf of Vishwajyoti College of Engineering and Technology, and on behalf of all the students, students and faculty members, and entire Vishwajyoti family, I extend a very, very warm welcome to Sri P. Aravindashan to this audience.
Thank you.
And our director, Sri Paul, Reverend Father Paul Nedumburathu, always when I told him, sir, my one space scientist is willing to address our students, can I arrange a program? He told, why not? And he was very enthusiastic. Yes, our students should know our first-hand knowledge about space program. And his encouragement and his really motivating words really was helpful. And on behalf of all of us present here, I extend a warm welcome to our director, Reverend Father Paul Nedumburathu. Our deans and heads of the department, I think most of them have already joined. Now the strength is 147. So I think I am not able to see in the video, but anyway, on behalf of the organizing committee, organizers of this program, and on my personal behalf, I extend a warm welcome to all the heads, deans, and heads of the departments of this to this podium. Our vice principal, I forgot to tell our vice principal, he is on leave today. Even though he is on leave, I think he is very prompt in joining for this program, and he is available here. His video is off. See, he was also very instrumental in helping us and guiding for this arranging this program. So I welcome Sri Somi P. Matthew, our Vice Principal, for this function. And our classmate, Aravindasan and myself, we studied electrical engineering 45 years back together. And our classmate Madan Mohan was also our classmate. He is in, I think, in UAE now. From UAE, he has joined for this program. I think Madan Mohan has switched off his video. I am not able to see him. But on behalf of the Vishwajyoti College and all the organizers, I extend a warm welcome to Sri P. Madan Mohan. Many more friends might have joined because I have sent this invitation to all our friends today morning. So those who are joined from 79 batch of NIT Calicut, I extend a warm welcome to all of them. And our faculty members are also very eager to attend this program and listen to Aravindasan. To all the faculty members, I extend a warm welcome to all of them. And my dear students, see, now the strength is 167. Normally they will be late, I know. So normally 5 to 10 minutes late. So I am sure the number will be 200 because this topic and the speaker both are very, very eminent speaker and very interesting topic. So definitely, even though it's after lunch, they may not prefer to sleep. They will prefer to attend this inspiring and this inspiring story from Aravindasan. So on behalf of the organizers, I extend a warm welcome for all my students, my dear student friends to this audience. And students, I wanted to tell you one thing. Aravindasan is my friend and he is your friend also, today onwards. So Aravindasan can be contacted for any doubts on any technical field relating to satellite, and he is an all-rounder, I told you. So get his contact details, be in touch with him. He will be able to guide you professionally, and this interaction you have to maintain throughout your career with people like Aravindasan. With these few words, I like to conclude, and I thank you very much for giving an opportunity. And I also once again welcome to all. I don't know if I missed anybody. I welcome you to all to this function, and thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yes.
I think, yeah. So now I request our respected director, Reverend Father Paul Nedumpurathu, to deliver the director's message. Father, please.
Yes. Our chief guest, Shri P. Aravindakshan, respected principal, Dr. K.K. Rajan, vice principal, Shri Somi P. Matthew, heads and deans of the departments, coordinators of this program, Dr. Anishin Dach and Mr. Vinash K., and the faculty members and our dear students. We are fortunate enough to have this afternoon session made very lively, I am sure it would be, by Shri P. Aravindakshan on space research and space programs, on which we are all interested. We know when this generation, mine is, you may consider it a second generation, which has come across with space research and achievements of our nation in this area of scientific progress. And I clearly remember it was 1969 that our space research programs reached its heights. Neil Armstrong went to the moon. So we are all very much eagerly watching developments India has made in the field. So definitely today we will be, I'm sure we will be enriched by Sri Aravindakshan's talk, and we will be enlightened on this area of our knowledge. So I am very happy that this talk is being arranged by our principal, Dr. K.K. Rajan, and it is being coordinated by Dr. Anishin Dash and Mr. Vinod. I appreciate their hard work behind this program, and I wish all the success for this program, and may all those who are attending this program get benefit out of it. Wishing you all a success. I remain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father. Thank you. Thank you so much for those words. So my next duty is to, bestowed on me, is to introduce our chief guest. So it's an outstanding resume which I have in front of me. So I'll be taking the gist out of it, and I'll be just reading out the few most important points. So regarding Arvind Darshan sir, biodata. So I'll start with the education, and sir has his BSc engineering from REC Calicut, and is a MS in software systems from BITS Pilani with distinction. And the last position held by sir was the Chief General Manager of ISRO Satellite Department of Space, Bangalore. And regarding the professional career, sir has worked in ISRO for nearly more than 33 years, and has been primarily responsible for design, specification, installation, and commissioning of world-class space simulation facilities. And there are so many things to read out, but I will be just taking a crux out of it. So sir has been on works like proven expertise in the specification, design, installation, maintenance, and operation of several activities of regarding ISRO, and has participated in design reviews, establishment of state-of-the-art grounds, test facilities at various centers of ISRO in India. And sir joined ISRO in 1985, and has been deputy general manager, and has been chief general manager of test and fabrication, and has also been worked as a project manager, deputy project director. And regarding awards, I will just read out a few things. Like sir has been ISRO Satellite Governing Council, sir has been advisory board overseeing the technical and administrative matters of center, and has several research papers including more than 20 international and national journals, and has been member of ISRO Safety Board, and has been, as Principal Sir has told in the welcome speech, Sir has been, after his retirement, Sir has been retained as an ISRO Satellite Center as a consultant for a period of more than 1 year. So the resume keeps going, and is personally working as a consultant with industries for establishment of spacecraft building facilities in private sectors also. So we are so happy to have you, sir. So thank you so much for joining us, and I welcome you, sir, for the expert talk. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the kind introduction. My dear friend, Dr. K.K. Rajan, Father Paul, Mr. Anishin, Mr. Sinod, and all the participants for this seminar. I was just surprised when Dr. K.K. Rajan called me to give a talk on the space program. Though I was tied up with very many other activities, I readily agreed to his request, as it is a good chance for me to interact and share my experience with the young minds who are at the threshold of their career. So thank you, Dr. K.K. Rajan, giving me this opportunity to interact with you all. Now let us start our seminar. The topic of the day is Indian Space Program, an inspiring story. Before I come into Indian Space Program, we should know when space was created, how space was created. The space and time had its origin to an event called Big Bang, the creation of this universe itself. Nobody knows what is the state of affairs before the Big Bang. The Big Bang actually happened about 13.7 billion years back. Scientists calculate, or they estimate. Nobody is sure about that figure also. At the point of Big Bang, the entire universe, the known universe, was at a single point. What is the status of that point? What is the nature of that point? What is that characteristics of that point? Nobody can imagine. Okay. Due to some reason, it was unable to have its equilibrium continuously. It went for an explosion. That explosion is known as the Big Bang. So the result of that explosion was the spreading of energy, the creation of matter, and the creation of space and time. Okay. See, many things are not known. What was the real state of affairs nearly to about 30 million years after this Big Bang? But things started slowly emerging from the energy fields. What it has generated, matter started emerging. When the temperatures, so billions and billions of degrees centigrade, which we cannot imagine, came down to few million degrees of Kelvin, energy springs created quarks. From quarks, protons were created, and these protons interacted. When the temperature came to around 30,000 K, these protons were united, or protons were able to capture an electron from the total matter that was surrounding to form a hydrogen atom. Okay, this hydrogen atom is the predominant matter that is available in the universe. That is the most earliest form of matter available in the universe. These hydrogen atoms finally got into a series of interactions, and there was a kind of coagulation that has resulted in formation of luminous bodies known as stars. Okay, and the stars, example of a star, a well-known star is our own sun. What is happening in the sun is production of helium from the hydrogen atoms available, and this process continues. In that process, whatever matter is left out or destroyed is being given as light and heat to us. Okay, so from that point, we have to say that the origin of the space and time is the incident called so-called Big Bang. Say millions and millions of stars have been created from this hydrogen clouds, and the process of star formation is very interesting. Inside a star, this hydrogen continuously gets converted into helium. The process continues, and when there is no more hydrogen to get converted into helium, it will become, there will be a process called helium fusion. Okay, it is called helium flash. In that process, helium atoms will fuse together, and there will be a tremendous release of kinetic energy, and the star itself will grow in size and will become a so-called red giant. And there is the death of, this is the end of life of a star. If you take a 70 years life, take 7 years as life of a star. First 15 years will be the formation of the star from the primary matter like hydrogen clouds. Gravity holds them together. And 50 years will be the normal life of a normal life with the hydrogen getting converted into helium. And another 30 years will be this, it will become a red giant. Okay, red giant means the kinetic energy pushes this material to its surfaces, and the star will become a very huge star called red giant. And the red giants will either explode into a supernova, or they will leave out their outer shell into the space to form a nebula, and they themselves will contract to become something called white dwarfs. Okay, so there the process varies from the star size. There is something called Chandrasekhar limit. See, if the mass of a star is 1.4 times that of sun, less than 1.4 times that of sun, it will become a white dwarf. If it is more than 1.4 times that of sun, it will become a supernova. This limit is known as, with the renowned Indian scientist, Dr. Subramaniam Chandrasekhar. This limit is known as Chandrasekhar limit. And there are stars with mass 3 times than sun, 5 times than sun, or even thousands of times than the sun. See, their evolution is totally different. Okay, when that helium, everything helium, all helium get fused into other elements in the very high temperature at the core of the star, it will become elements up to iron. Certain big stars, still the process continues, and they will produce elements beyond iron. What is seen, it is what is seen in the your periodic table. So this is the basic physics behind the stars. If you look at our own star sun, it is a middle-sized star. Okay, it is situated in a galaxy called Milky Way. The Milky Way itself is a collection of about 400 billion stars. Okay, and sun is only one member in that star. Okay, one member in that galaxy. Like that, billions and billions of galaxies exist in this universe. So you can imagine what is the expanse of this universe. Okay, and this our next nearby galaxy is one Andromeda galaxy, which is a medium-sized galaxy. These galaxies are all spiral structures with a central black hole. Okay, this spiral structure has various arms, and everywhere you can see clusters and clusters of huge number of stars. This, and as I told you, the sun is only a medium-sized star in this total Milky Way galaxy. The sun has formed from this residual matter of this universe about 4.7 billion years ago. You can say that sun is now a middle-aged person, because the total life of sun itself is about 10 billion years. More and more time proceed, there will be depletion in internal hydrogen helium reactions in the sun. Sun also will become a red giant to encapsulate the entire solar system. And by the time, much before that, there won't be no water, no earth, nothing will be there. So the end will be an explosion, and it will be sun will ultimately get converted into a white dwarf. That is a very, very long ago. Nobody need to worry about all those things right now. Sun has got, the solar system. The solar system has got 8 planets predominant, and 9 planets. And ninth planet itself is a doubt whether it is a planet or is this one, the Pluto. There are still arguments going on. You know the various planets available in our solar system. So under this background, if you look at, it's a wonderful thing to have this universe, and we actually, whatever stars we see now, they are all the second or third generation stars. First generation stars formed after that Big Bang has already expired. They left out, what will happen? They left out their remnants in the space. Okay, If you see, if you really ask yourself, what are you? That clear answer will be that you are remnants of a star dust. How it is? Because you know, when the stars are dying, they create elements. These elements will be spread as dust throughout the universe, expands, and they will coagulate to form planets around a particular star. So in the case of our Earth itself, it is the splinter matter that has gathered, that was lying in the cosmic dust. That dust has been gathered, it has been coagulated into a structure, and it found a star formed to rotate around that. And this is the situation of formation of Earth. Earth has formed about, along with the solar system, around 4.7 billion years ago. And when this, in the Earth itself, there is a lot of chemical and physiological changes have happened. Various elements have combined to form compounds. Compounds have given rise to very complex molecules like amino acids, which is the base of life. Some amino acids get transformed into a DNA structure. The DNA and RNA structures, which are the basic building blocks of life, and the life has emerged from that, and the creation, the various types of life forms emerged, and human beings are at the end of that particular evolution called. So life, you can say, it is the most evolved form of matter. Okay, in which direction this will proceed, nobody knows. Okay, so if you look at it, and space is space, and the story, astrophysics, astronomy, or all those things are a very interesting field that can kindle your imagination. And whatever we know is only 1%. Whatever is not known is 99%. That means black energy, dark matter, and there are 95% of the universe is filled with the dark energy and dark matter. Nobody knows what it is. Its presence only is felt in the continuous expansion of the universe. Okay, I will request you to show the slides. Next slide, please.